Okay, this is my second video just to show the trial run for the painting challenge. The first video showed me painting up the salamander. He's a little bit rough. I'm not entirely happy with him, but he is the trial figure. So I will be just experimenting a little bit more before I commit to painting 60 of them like that. So this video is to paint this Naiad. He's a rank and file guy with the trident and net. This is the reference material I'm using, so he will have blue skin, which will be this sky blue colour. This isn't actually Army Painter. I don't own a sky blue wood from Army Painter. I need to rectify that. The hair at the back here will be this ultramarine, will be crystal blue. And then there's a little bit of detailing on the armour. I'm just trying to pick that out now. It's sort of on his, on the legs there. And possibly a bit on the helmet. I think what I'll actually do, because there's no way I'm going to be able to do the same detailing that you can see on the helmet there in red around what might be gills, I don't know. But the crest of this helmet, which you can see on the figure here, that will be red. I'll use pure red for that. And the trident will be sort of old gold colour, and the staff will be black. So I'll just get those colours in order. As I said before, it's quite important to get for speed painting. It's to get the paint sorted. Now I'm just going to research very quickly what colour that net is, because these guys carry net. So it looks like that's just been sort of painted black and then dry brushed grey. So we'll see how that goes. The other choice I need to make is what Army Painter wash tone I put on these. Now I'm tempted to experiment with something like soft tone. Yeah, actually I think soft tone is going to be the first choice to make it a bit more subtle and to bring out the details on the armour here. But let's see how we go with this one. This is the important step, really. This is the fact-finding mission, I guess, to get these figures done in the shortest possible time. I need to just work out what's the best process to help me achieve what I want to achieve. So, okay, let's give the old sky blue a bit of a shake up and squeeze a bit out. Of course, there's excellence in video making. Here we go. For most of this figure I will be using the War Gamer Regiment brush. This paint's come out really thick actually, so I'll just water that down a touch. But similar to the original video, there's no subtlety aimed for or desired. In painting figures quickly. As soon as you start to get bogged down in detail, you lose that speed and that ability to crack through figures as quickly as you need to or want to when what you want is figures on the table as quickly as possible. So I'm just picking out areas of blue for the skin. These are aquatic people from the sea, and they will be based on a suitably watery base, and it's really one of the reasons why I went with the decision of not painting them on their multi-base, because these are lovely figures. I really do like them. I'm probably doing them a bit of a disservice by using them as a painting challenge topic, but they actually form the rank and file for two Kings of War armies, Forces of Nature and the Trident Realms of Naiad, which is probably their native use as within the aquatic themed army. But of course, Forces of Nature, led by the Green Lady, can draw upon all kinds of different creatures from across Mantica to help with her cause. So there's actually not masses of blue skins showing in between the armour on these figures, so this is going to be rather a quick step, but the blue really does contrast well with the skeleton bone, so I'm really liking what I'm seeing there. Just get the rest of the hand in, and the rest of the face there, which I've just missed off. The painting, it does, whenever you do these sort of projects, it does make you appreciate the studio quality painting. Maybe not if you're some sort of painting ninja. I appreciate that taste. This is really all about painting. Is all about taste, isn't it? It's about subjectivity of what we all look for in a decent paint job. There's no way I would have been able to paint this on the base. I said that about the salamander, but completely true about this figure as well, because I wouldn't. There's so much of the detail I would be unable to reach. So there we go. That's really all that is needed on the skin with the blue. Just a little bit around the back there and a little bit around the top of that armour there. There's a great short story in The Edge of the Abyss, short story companion about Naiads fighting, I think it might be Empire of Dust, but there we go, that's the blue. Now, as I've said, a little bit of red to go on. The thigh guard, and so it's this bit here, which is just a bit of armour protection, and then this the crest of the helmet. So I'm just, sorry if I've mentioned this before already, but as I mentioned in the salamander video, I'm just finding out, I'm getting to know the figure, I think is the best way to put it. Getting to know what the bits are, what colours I want to apply to them, and how can I do that in the quickest way possible. So although I'm using that Mantic Studio scheme as the inspiration for this figure, it's really Smoke and Mirrors where I'm cutting corners where possible to maximise speed. So this bit here on the crest of the helmet is one example, because I suppose I could just add a little bit of red in there. It's probably unnecessary actually, but it does actually, that just looks quite nice on the side. So it's about getting the paint in the right place. It's a bit like colour by numbers, isn't it? Painting. There we go. Looking quite nice already. Waiting for his wash. So I'm going with the darker blue on the hair just to contrast it a bit more than the skin. I was going to use that crystal blue, but I think that's probably somewhere in between the two blues. So it's darker red. Actually comes all the way up to the front of the face there, looking by the Mantic colour scheme. So these are kind of right of colour really, with red and blue on there. As I mentioned in the Salamander video, these are just blue tacked onto the bases so they can be removed in short order and placed on their permanent home on the multi-base. And I'm intending to do a little bit of a sort of shallow stream effect at these fish people, which I sort of think they are, will be wading through. So there we go. That's him so far. Let's go on to the Necromancer Black for the spear, and this guy, I think these will be relatively straightforward to paint in a speedy manner, because the majority of the figure is the cream bone coloured armour, which we've used skeleton bone to replicate. These figures are not going to win awards, but an army in a weekend can't expect to win awards. Well, I guess it could win a speed painting award if it was ever entered into a speed painting competition. But other than that, it ain't going to win awards. What it is going to do is allow you to get a painted army onto the table. Pretty PDQ. So this is the net. I'm not convinced I'm going to remain to continue painting the net black. Almost all of them have got them. These figures are actually called Naiad ensnarers, so they throw nets and entangle their enemy. A bit like gladiators of old, I suppose, before piercing them with these rather nasty looking tridents. So a bit like colour by numbers, I've just whacked those colours on there. And you can imagine in a batch painting process, if I did 20, 30, 40 of these, then I'd do all of the light blue skin, then the red, then the dark blue for the hair, and then the black. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, there's 4 colours on there, so 4 different paints laid out in front of me ready to go. And as you get more familiar with the model, you get quicker at finding the bits where you want the blue skin, for instance, with the bits in between the armour. and where the red goes and where the black goes, you get that will speed up naturally. But that figure, other than this bit, and again, I'm sorry I'm not using Army Painter here because I haven't got the suitable colour gold from Army Painter yet. But just quickly adding that to the trident. Whopping that on like so. It's a lovely colour gold, this is. I know Army Painter do a very similar one, which I'll be picking up in due course, just because I like the consistency of using paints from one range, really. Similar with the figures that I use for Kings of War. It's all Mantic figures all the time. Maybe just give the end of the tripod a little bit of gold as well, why not? Looks quite nice. So that is it. Now on the actual on the Mantic figure, there's a little bit of green across the whole piece as a wash, and I may look to emulate that. But I think just for this first guy, now the gold on there is far from dry, but everything else is dry. I've got the window open here, there's a nice breeze coming in, so that's helping it. So similar to what I did with the salamander, who has now dried, and you can see he is quite dark. So I may not well use the black tone on him, or use it as a wash down version. And this is what process is about the experimentation. I'm going to bathe my Naiad in Army Painter Soft Tone, which is quite a pale brown. So take my monster brush here, which is absolutely great for washing, and again I'm going to put this on neat without any dilution, and just to see what comes out, really, because it's always difficult to tell what the end results will be until you've thrown it on. Similar to the salamander, it may well be that I need to do a sort of 50-50 mix with water. It may not be, and just initially I'm quite liking what I'm seeing. So you can see the tone just sink into the recesses quite nicely there. Where it sits too heavily, then just wick it away. But I maintain the fact that these figures are being painted to be viewed from 2 to 3 feet away, and not from beneath your nose, like you would with a display piece. But you can see, hopefully, on there that the brown is settling in and just showing off the sculpting on there. Now, you might not like this, you might not like the colour choice. I don't know if I'm committed to the red on the crest here, or how dark I've painted the blue on the hair. But as a test piece, it serves its purpose. What it does is show me where the details are on the figure. And a unit of these viewed from this sort of angle, well, that's probably the tabletop sort of distance that you're looking at that now. Not too bad. So I'll allow her to dry and be back later.